question. It can be done by a raise of hands. That ain't no thing. How many of you got started with the original Studio Dean Type Moon Fate Stay Night? Okay. Wow. A lot of old people in the room. Very impressive. All right, hands down. All right. How about this? How about this? I want to know the true OGs. Tsukihime. Yeah. All right. All right. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Either or. I don't care.
There's none.
All right. Yeah. No, that's the thing. Didn't you just randomly found a time traveler in the Super Happy Fun Cell?
I don't know what you're talking about. No, in all sincerity, actually, for those of you who have been to the panel before, it's always been this running joke within the fandom that there is no Tsukihime anime. So I actually just on a whim bought the DVD box set for the Tsukihime anime in the Super Happy Fun sale. It was $20.
Is it the one?
It's the collector's edition.
Collector's edition. And
no one wants it.
Right. I sold the game and it made my money back, but I still paid for the Tsukihime anime because I paid with my dignity for the Tsukihime anime.
Put the heart on the line. Yeah. Put the heart on the line. All right. So cool. We got a good number of OGs here. I like that. All right. Let's continue. How about Fate Zero? Anybody? Phase Zero start? Okay. Completely understandable. Started with Fate Zero. My apologies if I didn't state that. Okay.
They told me to cosplay Ryder.
Well, yes, because Ice Cander's the best. Everybody knows that. All right. So, fantastic. All right. Let's see. I wanna do the scrub check. We're gonna do the scrub check. Grand order.
Did anyone in the room start with Grand Order?
Anyone start with Grand Order? We're going to do the scrub check.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we know who our demographic is.
Yes, I think it's fairly obvious
Well,
now.
I think it doesn't help that there's a Grand Order panel happening at the same time.
Right.
Yes, but we are not spiteful people. We are dignified people. We like to appreciate our fellow con goers, even though
No, there's a Grand.
it's us versus Aniplex. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right. How about I'm trying to think of something really obscure. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. Myself.
Yourself.
Melty Blood. Thank you. Thank you. You make my heart grow and bleed. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Joey,
Yes.
who here started with Fate/Strange Fake?
Oh,
Anyone?
dude, if anyone started with Strange Fake,
That's great.
if anyone started with Strange Fake, I don't want to know who that person is. Hey, Strange Fake's actually really good. I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
It is like, it would be very weird to get into it because of that. You probably would have been a Bakano fan or a Durara fan and then got to...
I think it has like the best opening like chapters ever.
And
it's amazing.
One more ask before we continue. Apocrypha. Nobody. Okay, cool. All right, so fantastic. So those of you who have been here before, you pretty much know how we run things. Those of you who haven't, I will very quickly explain. We are all going to introduce ourselves. All of us have, well, I won't say we're insane experts, but we're very well knowledged in the Type Moon universe. We are massive fans of it. And every Momocon and AWA that we are cordially invited, we like to come here and have a nice little panel explaining our love for the series with you guys, the fellow fans. That's why we made the Type Moon Universe fan panel 4 years ago. Yes.
This the theme of this panel is also kind of like an open forum discussion. So we thrive on questions from the audience. So if you guys have a question, we're going to have a specific segment for that later on where you guys can come up and ask questions. We really encourage your participation in that.
Absolutely. And this year we have fabulous prizes. Yeah. Very fabulous prizes, and we will go into that later. But first things first, we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves going down the line. I will save myself for first. I will go first. So, my name is Joey. Those of you who know me, I am the person who contributes the knowledge of Melty Blood to this panel. I started in the Type Moon universe with Melty Blood back in 2007 when I first played Act Condensa for the first time. Got it from my friend. He had a Japanese PS2. We played it. I loved it. I had no idea what they were saying, but I loved it, and I read through the horrible translation guide that was on GameFAQs to figure out the storyline. I beat the game with every single character, and it drove me almost insane. So, I love the game. I love the Type Moon universe. Fate Zero is still deeply rooted in my heart as one of my favorite animes, and that's it. Thank you.
Poetry.
All right. Huh?
Poetry.
Thank you. I try. All right, next up is our resident horribly biased ruler. Talk to him.
So, all right. My name is Clayton Bradley. I've been a Type Moon cosplayer since 2010. I did start out with the Studio Dean anime, and Fate is my passion, definitely. The knowledge that I bring to the panel is primarily about the Fate licensed video games. Particularly the Extraverse is one of my favorite aspects of the Type Moon universe. But I just, in general, love Fate. I've been the organizer and, I guess, the manager of the Fate community, Fate cosplay community for Georgia, for MomoCon and AWA for the last 5-6 years now. And hopefully, who was here at the photo shoots today, or yesterday? All right. So I hope you guys had a great time.
Now, before we move on, may I ask CJ, what class are you?
I don't know what you're talking about. Me, a servant? Never. But if I were, I'd probably be a ruler class.
Ruler class?
Says the person cosplaying Archer.
Insanely biased.
I've never been an archer before in my life. I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course.
Second story, second life. Yeah. All right, next up is...
All right, my name's Trip. I got started with the Studio Dean anime. Hated it. Had no idea why anyone liked Type Moon afterward. Then I started playing the visual novel, and it all kind of snowballed from there. I played all the visual novels, patiently waiting Mahoyo. I tried to play Kagetsu Toyo.
But we don't talk about that.
I have a lot of complaints about the UI for that game and how the decision making goes on, but I'm sidetracking now. But I mostly bring knowledge of the visual novels and the expanded universe and the lore.
Fantastic. All right. So, and I'm going to keep this as a little theme. What servant would you think you are?
I'd be the worst caster ever, because I'd be like a Shakespeare that would die.
Feel you. All right. I like that. Next up is...
All right. So my name is James. I also really like Fate too. I also started around the same time, like Dean. I played the visual novel. I watched most of the other like Type Moon works and stuff like that. But primarily right now at the moment, I am a Fate Grand Order JP junkie. Just to give an understanding. Actually, how many people actually play Grand Order? JP? English? Okay, so it's mostly English here. All right, sorry, I'm like a JP junkie. All right, that's about it really.
And?
My class would be Berserker because I have no restraint with my funds and spending. I play Merlin.
I like it. Fantastic. And finally, the last of our panelists is...
Hey y'all, I'm James. Now, I am the techie of the panel, and as you can see by our fabulous PowerPoint, everything is going flawlessly this year. Now, I really hope that you will bear with us this year because, laptops and cable adapters and all the AV troubles in the world have prevented us from giving you our awesome PowerPoint full of funny jokes, but I trust that our panelists will carry it through.
Yes. And finally, class.
Oh, yes, my class, I think I would have to go with caster as well, just because I don't see myself on the front lines beating crap out of people. I see myself as kind of like a backliner kind of person, working in the shadows.
I'm a frontliner that just dies.
AKA Meat Shield. You're the lovely Meat Shield. All right, good. So, that is all of us, and we are going to go ahead and get started by explaining some of the things that have come out.
What's your class?
Oh, you want to know my class?
Yeah.
Let's see. If I had to base it off of personal desire, I'd probably say Berserker, because, get the gains all day. And let's see. And if... Yeah, I'd just say Berserker. I like Berserkers. And I also don't like to have to control myself. It's fun. Either way, so... we are going to go ahead and get started by going over some of the announcements and new stuff that has dropped ever since we did this panel over in MomoCon. Now, one of the big things that's dropped, yes?
Who here was at the panel at MomoCon?
Yes.
All right, so this is everything that's happened since then.
So, we're going to go and start off with the first one. Might as well start off with the anime, which is Apocrypha. So, Fate Apocrypha got itself a nice little anime done by A1 Pictures. And all of us are completely caught up with it. And we have varying opinions of it. Are you guys caught up on it? Might as well ask. All right, so we'll ask this. Who is caught up? Cool, hands down. Who started it? Hands down. And who's waiting for it to hit Netflix?
Everybody else.
Everybody else. Completely understandable. So, very well. So, Fate Apocrypha came out, airing in Japan, and the episodes have been, we're up to episode 12 now? 12.
Season 1 is concluded.
Yes, so season one is concluded. We are at episode 12 of the 25 episodes that we're going to get. And we have varying opinions of it between the 5 of us. So, I will go ahead and have the bias party start off.
So, Fate Apocrypha, the anime. So, when this first got announced, we already had all these other things that had been announced up until this point, right? We already had Extra Last Encores announced, and we already had these beautiful looking Heaven's Feel movies by Ufotable that were announced. So when they announced the Apocrypha anime, I was like, this seems a tad bit rushed. They're like, hey, we just announced it, it's coming out this summer, and sure enough, it did. And it was, you know, A1 is kind of a bad word where, you know, as far as we're concerned. But
we don't like A1 on that.
So it came out.
Anime.
Right, so it came out, you know, July, August, around that time. Started watching it, and it does, in my personal opinion, it does get better and better as the season goes on. I will say my biggest criticism, and this is really shallow, is it's just ugly. Like the visuals are just not up to par. And I know that's unfair to say that we're comparing it to Ufotable and these other companies that do fantastic visuals for the other works, but even compared to, like, I would dare say, even compared to like Dean, it's just ugly. The animation quality is not where it needs to be, and some of the fight scenes were kind of hard to watch. But as far as how the story is playing out, I'm perfectly content with how it's going. And the last couple episodes leading up to the end of season 1, fantastic. I hope you guys enjoy it as well.
So just wondering, who all read the book Apocrypha? Anyone? Okay. So as a reader of the book, watching the anime is kind of weird because they skip a lot. Except what they choose to skip, and my decision is generally a good decision. The big central plot is this thing with the homunculus named Sieg and Jeanne d'Arc. And unfortunately for being the central plot, it's also, in my opinion, the most boring story in it. There's plenty of things. Fate Apocrypha makes up for it with having a great cast of characters. Astolfo's great.
Yes.
Who likes Astolfo?
Who else is great? Astolfo's great. Mordred's great. Mordred's master's great. Shakespeare's not really in the anime, unfortunately. But he's great in the book.
But not nearly
He's
enough.
a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. Again, the animation's not nearly as good as what we're used to in the Type Moon fandom, except I think it's acceptably mediocre.
Good. Next. Opinions?
So first off, flat out, I'm going to say I don't like the opening. And I like Egoist.
Thank you.
It's cool.
No, I like Egoist. I don't like the opening. I'm going to admit it. I'm going to admit I don't like the opening. Let's see, what else? Sorry, we're getting some others.
Continue talking. You're good.
Anyways, so Apocrypha, in my opinion, does something really unique. So, like, rarely ever, besides, like, big things like Grand Order, you rarely see, like, multiple servants in, like, with one thing like that. And you get to see, like, the giant chaotic mess that is, like, you know, Fate, and it's madness, and it's, like, allurance. And there's a lot of moments like that with Fate Apocrypha. But as we mentioned before, it's not really pretty. That's A1. It's got a pretty okay soundtrack and stuff like that. And we're not really nitpicking, like, the animation by saying, like, it's ugly. It still looks really good. It's just that it takes away from like the great dynamics that from like the chemistry of like the cast and stuff like that. Like you have like really interesting characters on both sides. It's like really unique situations. I can't really like spoil it because not many that people have watched it yet. So episode 12 was really good.
Yeah.
All right. What's next? So basically, the general consensus between all of us, at least except for Trip.
I like it.
Yes.
I like it too.
I like the last few episodes.
The general consensus is it's good, and they stay rather faithful to the novel itself. Just since it's A1, they do it in the most boring way possible, and that's why I didn't care for it personally. But as they said, and I will definitely echo, last 3 episodes were pretty interesting. Now, continuing on, this is a rather interesting year, especially for Fate, because it's not very often that the anime is not the biggest thing that's come out. And needless to say, the biggest thing that's come out ever since MomoCon happened, English drop of Grand Order. So, because of that, I'm going to go ahead and take the floor for just a second, and I'm going to have to make an apology. I don't like doing this, but I'm going to have to make an apology. Grand Order is not a bad game. It is not a bad game. It's just a bad mobile game. I rather like the game itself, but it still has the predatory mobile tactics that I don't like. Hello, do we have?
It's VGA. We're going back to the 1980s, but it's something.
Yeah!
Throwback.
Good enough for government work. Good enough for government work. There we go.
So what we're talking about Grand Order in English. So I don't know, those of you who have talked to me on a personal level about this know how I feel about these types of mobile games and these what they call fee to pay mobile phone games with microtransactions. I generally don't like them as I feel like they're very destructive to the gaming industry as a whole. And I was very negative about the whole Grand Order thing for a very long time. But I'd like to take a moment to recognize some people in the audience really quick. So Jeff, Avani, Michelle, and Luca, who's not here, is he?
No.
Okay, you guys go ahead and stand up. All right, give these people a round of applause really quick. These people paid out of pocket. I had a dinosaur phone, okay, so I couldn't play Grand Order when it came out in English. These people paid out of pocket to buy me a phone that could play Grand Order. And now I can safely say, I have played Grand Order. Do I like it?
No, VJ to HD. That's what's going on. It's adaptivity.
I log in like every couple of days. And that's about, I have all the servants I care about. I have Emiya, I have Altera, I have Ku. There's not much else I want to do with it. I log in every couple of days. That's about it.
Yeah, log in, get your dailies in, go on about your business. So, before we end the conversation on Grand Order, however, they still got it. Yep, there you go. Oh, all right. Oh, we have visuals. We have visuals. It's almost as if we're professional.
I'm amazed that an anime convention actually has one of these mini DisplayPort adapters because I don't keep those things around.
Right. Well, I was unaware we lived in like what, the 90s?
Well, no, it's a version of a Mac. You literally, it's a version of a Mac.
I'm actually
Check his browser history.
Was that fan fiction?
Self-insert fan fiction?
Don't worry about it.
Hey, that's technically what Apocrypha is.
Don't
Start off as.
Especially since this stuff doesn't belong to any of us. So don't.
They don't even have. We're projecting into a wall. My engine has projected screens. Hey,
No,
but the wall's bigger.
yeah.
More projected.
Is that a Shiro X Shinji fanfiction?
It has pictures and everything.
So you're telling me it's Heaven's Feel spoilers?
What?
That was full file.
Yeah, I went there.
Yes.
We need a micro USB.
I have it. It's plugged in right now.
So in other words, Grand Order came out. It's awful. You shouldn't play it. Next topic, Grand Order.
Not quite.
Fake,
So
fake fate.
Fake is good.
before we move on, I want James talk a little bit about JP.
Alright, so if you guys haven't heard yet, I'm not going to mention since you guys already know about it. I'm going to talk about Fate Grand Order JP because English is somewhere else that we don't need to talk about. So since May happened, we've had the summer event rerun from 2016, and we had the new summer event, the Dead Heat Summer Race. Did anyone play that event? Man, was that fun? Was that a fun event? That was great. I fucking loved it.
It's still useless.
Yo, shut your face. I love my goddess. She's great. I loved it. Loved every single moment of it.
Oh my god, it's Gilgamesh X Kotomine Shiro.
Oh my god. Let's see what else happened in JP. I think a Remnant Part 3 is coming out pretty soon. Like there hasn't been like any announcements of it yet, but there's like some pretty good stuff in terms of like spoilers ahead for like the 5-star, which is gonna be like Old Man Sasaki Kojiro. That's like the popular one I read right now. Yeah, man.
What about, is it bringing Alter Francis Drake? Alter Francis Drake?
Alter Francis Drake was an insert character of EOR Part 2. There's like theories that she may show up as a playable Servant, but we don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Sherlock playable yet?
Sherlock is indeed playable. He is a 5-star and I did not get him. I paid a lot.
Didn't Sherlock end up with like the Archimedes death ray or something like that?
Well, Sherlock Holmes is like really, his design is really cool. Like I wish I could like show it up to you guys, but like he's like this like really tiny skinny dude, but he's got like a bunch of like magnifying glasses, like focus light and stuff like that, so he shoots out lasers and stuff like that. And he's got the coolest Noble Phantasm animation like in game, where it's just like elementary, my dear, and it's just like that's pretty awesome.
I'm already
Next topic. Yes. So, Grand Order happened, big thing, obviously, and another thing got spoiled or announced. Extella. Fate Extella is getting a expansion. It's called Extella Link. And I will have the person who really likes Extella talking with me.
Okay, so who here has played Fate Extella? Awesome. So, those of you who have been to the panel before, and those of you that haven't, know that I love Fate Extella. It's one of my favorite Type Moon properties. So, in July, Fate Extella was released again for the Switch and the PC. So for those of you who have never played Extella before, now is your time. In fact, I love the game so much, I'm going to be giving away a copy of Fate Extella for the Nintendo Switch tonight during our Q&A session. So if you guys have any great questions in mind, just come up and ask them. You may have a chance to win this copy of Fate Extella right here. So, shortly after that, we got a little bit of a leak a couple weeks ago, revealing that we're getting yet another Extella game. So it's going to either be an expansion or a sequel. We don't quite know yet. It is called Extella Link. There's a couple things we know about it right now that are really interesting. So we know that they're updating the visuals. Who here thought the visuals in Extella could use a little bit of improvement? That's right. So you will be happy to know there are higher resolution models. Nero looks more fabulous than ever in high definition. And our master character has some alternate outfits and things like that. In addition to that, we have a new servant. We are now going to see Astolfo's King Charlemagne is going to be a playable servant in Extella Link.
Looks generic as hell.
I like his design just fine because I think it's thematically similar with Astolfo without being Astolfo.
Yeah, it looks like you know.
Some people actually don't care for Charlemagne's design as of right now, and we've played with the idea of Charlemagne being a servant in the past. Actually, in a previous panel, we had talked about it. So probably not the design we would have gone for, but I'm not complaining in the slightest. I'm very excited about this game. What do you say?
At least he's not a woman.
At least he's not another saber face.
Okay, sure, he's not a saber face, exactly. So, all right.
Aren't you forgetting another Fate Extra game coming out?
Sorry?
Another Fate Extra game coming out. Actually, more
That's
Fate
not
Grand
been.
Order.
Yeah, not been confirmed. No other extra games been confirmed as of yet.
Although we did forget another title that Brandon slipped in.
Yeah, Fate Extra Anime is coming out.
There is a Fate Grand Order Arcade that's been announced.
Oh,
Fate
yeah.
Grand Order Arcade was announced, but it's not Fate Extra. But Fate Grand Order Arcade is like very like there's not a lot has been like told about it yet. And to be honest, since it's an arcade game, we're probably not going to get it over stateside.
We have Gundam versus. It is possible.
Yeah, but like that's not an arcade game. Did it have arcade in the title of the game? I don't think so.
It essentially is though. So let's keep our fingers crossed on that one.
Yep. All right. So Extella getting a nice good expansion, and that anime game was popular enough in order to warrant it. So hopefully more will come from that. And now continuing on, switching over to anime, we have the Fate Stay Night's Heavensfield movie.
Which just got its first American.
No, you passed something.
So we got confirmation. I'll come back. We got confirmation earlier today, actually, of when the Heavensfield movie is going to be released in theaters here in America. Probably a very limited screening. We know it's going to be in LA so far.
We got the LA date.
Yeah, the LA date. It's November 3rd is when we're getting it in the US. So we don't know if we're going to get it outside of that one screening.
Yeah, they're $25 for tickets.
I would pay that in a heartbeat.
No, but that's like
yeah.
It's all like when you go to like any other movie theaters in the plaza, they're only 15.
Yeah.
For God's sakes, Aniplex.
They did say they were going to give it a nationwide release, but they didn't say how limited.
Right. So we'll keep updated on that one. But as of right now, we know we're getting it in LA on November 3rd.
What rating is it going to receive? What rating is it going to receive?
Oh no, idea. Probably.
It'll probably be unrated. Because it's not full release.
Usually get
Don't worry. We're gonna get. It's gonna be a wide release. We're gonna get it. It's just they're only announcing like LA for now because it's like the big press release.
Oh yeah, but most of the time for us, we follow a lot of anime. We have a studio in New York, a place in New York that every time LA does it, New York also gets it.
Yeah,
nice.
New York
so
also.
I'm saying we most likely are gonna get it in New York. So we're talking about that because we just
Yeah.
Okay.
So Atlanta usually gets a show too. It's just typically a couple weeks after the LA show.
That's why I said just the fact that Aniplex is willing to drop it in America means they're willing to put it
put money into it,
which is nice. It's nice. So the next one, next little anime movie is Prisma Ilia. One of the most weird and obscured shows that is in the Type Moon universe decided to get another movie. And we have it on source from one of the panelists' brothers. They've seen it already. Apparently it's good. It's in Japanese and it's not over in the States yet, but apparently it's good. So, who wants to talk about that?
I'll talk about it.
Alright, talk about it.
So, Prisma Ilia the movie. Who here's actually familiar with Prisma Ilia?
Yes.
Alright, wow, holy crap.
The FBO will be in contact.
Why didn't we get a showing stateside? Holy crap, guys. Like, I wanted to watch, like, alternate reality Shira, like, beat the crap out of other things. Gosh. No, there's not really not much we know about it yet, except there's a movie. It's about, like, alternate dimension Shira, about his Grail War and the things that happen in it. Since most of you already are familiar with it, like, how he loses that Grail War. So...
Right, it mostly takes place after the 3rd season and mostly picks up, from what I understand, where that left off. I'm really looking forward to it because it usually has fantastic visuals, and alternate reality Shiro is best Shiro. No offense, not as good Shiro, but...
Savage.
Oh, you're from Glass Block. Gotcha.
I have no opinion. I've been dead for years.
So.
Carnival Phantasm.
Carnival Phantasm is great.
Next season, Carnival Phantasm never.
I think
that is not my decision. I want more Carnival.
I'd say we have enough content for part 2. We probably have enough content.
I think
by now, yes.
Actually, too much.
Yes, by now, yes. God knows what they would make now.
Anniversary product for Type Moon. So
20th anniversary.
So we might get another season for the 20th anniversary.
How close are we this year? 3 years? Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay.
I thought we were long.
So we may actually have a chance for Carnival Phantasm item number 2.
This isn't like confirmed, but you know, it's good speculation.
It's better than Half-Life 3.
Probably not going to happen, but we can pray.
So,
if we pay for enough gotcha, we can make it happen.
So, we're going to go ahead and drop one more announcement that we heard since MomoCon, and then we're going to go ahead and open up the floor to questions. So, if you all have a question that you want to ask us, or a discussion topic, or something like that, go ahead and make a line right here in the middle row. And when you ask us the question, I will ask you your name, and I will ask you what servant type you think you are. And then you will be thrown into our lovely Holy Grail. And this is how we are going to figure out who is going to win the prizes.
Who wants to guess what's in the Grail already?
Salt.
Salt. Because that, literally, you just have salt.
Literally, the Grail is full of nothing but salt and black peas, because that's all you're worth.
Yeah. So, if y'all have any questions, or discussion points for us, feel free to make a line right here in front of us, and we will go ahead and get cracking on that. But first things first, there's one more announcement that we heard, and this is something I am personally very excited for. The case files of El Malloy, waivers case files. It has been announced that it is getting a manga. So, if you are like me, who has been waiting forever for that visual novel to get translated.
Light novel.
Light novel.
Excuse me, light novel to get translated. We may only have to wait even a little while, because manga tends to get translated quicker than light novels do. So I personally am excited for that, especially since, based off of what I read, it ties together a lot of the more nuanced stuff in between different source materials in the Type Moon universe. And it talks a lot more about the Mages Association, which I personally find incredibly intriguing. So,
question time.
It's definitely like worthwhile running up. Like, we have a ton of prizes. Like,
yeah.
Even if like you guys should just line up and it's gotcha at this point.
So let's go over all of our prizes really quick, just so everybody knows what we have.
All right. We're gonna go really fast. So I have these these clear stands with 4 different characters on them. I have a Mordred, I have a Mashu, I have a Gudiko, and I have a Fran. These are little clear stands you can buy over at the Amber Clover. Like our friend Sarge JY, he sells these, and they're selling at his Artist Alley booth. Next thing I have is let's see. I've got some clear files. They're like heavily Rin based, but I like Rin, and I had some lying around, so I'll give them to you. I have one, and I have another one. Next thing I have is a little promotion thing I got when I went to Anime Expo. It's a little fake Grand Order promotional poster, and it's got like a little Kawasumi autograph with a little nice note to you.
Is that actually signed by?
It's not signed. It's but it's a painted. But it's cool.
That's for your signature. Okay.
I also have a Archer Emiya pin that I got that's from Anime Expo. It was like one of the little free gimme prizes too. And I have with me a full unopened set of the 6 Learning with Fate Grand Order manga characters boxes. I'm not giving you the entire set, but I'm giving you every single I'll give them out individually. So
it's going to be a gotcha pull. You'll reach in, you'll get one. We have no idea what you're going to get.
Anyways, if you have a question, it'd be a stupid question, you can just line up, win something.
What about that? Yeah, pretty much. So I also have a couple more keychains in here. I think it's similar to what you have. I have a Mashu, mini scanner, and an Emiya. And then I will randomly be deciding the grand prize, which is the copy of Extella at the end.
Fantastic.
Let's do this.
All right. So, that's that. So, sir.
Okay, Steven.
Steve.
What class do you think
What class do you consider yourself, Steve?
Rider.
Rider? You're a rider?
Yeah.
Dig it. All right. What's your question, sir? Wait. I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay, so before you guys were talking about new LA movie, so new material coming from that side of the universe. And I always thought it would be interesting if they did a spin-off of Gilgamesh on his own series. And what would you think if they did a spin-off for Gilgamesh that was produced by Shaft? Would it be pretentious enough?
Okay. So I think depending on how Shaft does Extra Last Encore the anime, it may already have Gilgamesh in it. We'll see. So I think if they were to do like an anime adaptation of Strange Fake, that would basically be that.
Oh, dude,
because
that's my dream.
Strange Fake is all about Gil. That is his story right there.
So what I want from Shaft is an entire anime about Kid Gil leading a soccer
That's what I'm getting at.
team to a final tournament and winning the Olympics with a bunch of 12-year-olds, using his great leadership, completely animated with Shaft, filled with head tilts, super-powered Gate of Babylon kicks to the goals, and Gilgamesh just being a great leader as a good man on his sports team. That's what I want.
You're implying that Gilgamesh has care for people other than Enkidu?
Kid Gil
does, yeah.
Kid Gil's a good guy. He doesn't understand why he was such a
Mostly.
On a good day.
Thank you for your question.
Hello, my name is Dalton.
Hey, Dalton.
I could be summoned as either Berserker class or Saber class.
Choose one.
I'll go Berserker. This is the one.
Berserker. Alright, cool.
My question is a battle question. It's just be interesting for each of you. Who do you think will win in a fight? Full power Arceat or Gilgamesh going all out? And why?
So full powered who?
Arceat from Tsukihime.
So this is very similar to a question we had a couple years ago at MomoCon. I'll let you guys go through this. Yeah.
Full power Arquaid's a type and is more or less immortal. Gilgamesh has a world-killing noble phantasm though, so it'd be a hell of a fight. Except just because of how hard Arquaid is to kill, I'd honestly say Arquaid. Gilgamesh at the end of the day is still fundamentally based on human concepts, even if he's summoned as a servant. While Arquaid is literally a god.
I got one rebuttal to that.
All right.
Remember, his weapon is similar to the one in Notes that gets used to kill type archetype.
Not quite. So the weapon in Notes is specifically designed to use a type, to kill a type. The AWA is actually just a tool used by the gods to sculpt the earth. So it is a god weapon, but that's also dependent on his ability to use it, which is part of the argument I had before.
Yeah.
Gil is so
cocky and
is so pretentious. Yeah, he probably would not even think Arquaid is much of a threat. It would just be like, it's not worth it, and then he would be dead. So AWA is the one thing that gives him any ground to stand on versus her. But at the end of the day, it's still a servant who has to follow rules and a type which doesn't. So that's our opinion on that, I guess.
All right.
Thank you for your question.
Good.
So, my name is Jay. All right, who's
that handsome devil?
I don't know.
I like the look of that.
I don't know, but something tells me he's just gonna be an archer. I'm just gonna write down as an archer real quick.
I actually think I'd be a saber, maybe.
Okay, saber. All right, cool.
So who's the best type moon waifu and why?
Oh dear God! Why'd you open this can of worms?
Please. All right, fine.
Going across.
So, number one.
Speed edition. Let's do it.
Real quick. We'll just go and drop all of our opinions. Number one, best type moon waifu is Kohaku from Tsukihime.
Yeah.
Number one, all day. The maids are the best characters in Tsukihime, and they will always be best girl.
Hisui is superior.
Still simple.
Not most of the time, I agree with you, but Kohaku just became my main in Melty Blood again, so I have bias now. Please.
So you guys have heard me say this before in the past. Like I've gone back and forth about this a lot in the past. Right now, obviously, it has to be that one. Ishtar is the waifu. So.
Yeah, that shit's cute.
Mecha Hisui is the true waifu. It's basically just an upgraded Hisui in every single way.
Beep boop.
My Tsukihime waifu is also the maids.
No, he said type. Type.
Any
type.
All type moon.
Oh, type. Any type moon?
We gotta keep going.
Oh God.
Quick, do a cop out.
All right.
Question mark?
Do you need to answer this question? You already know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Sakura!
He's all wrong because you never said Xion.
He's low-key obsessed with Rin, but it's okay. It's a healthy obsession to have.
Ueda Kana was amazing today. It was great.
Yes.
Anyways, we gotta keep moving. Next.
Someone else's bag. Therefore, I am blameless. No, it is not his bag.
Well,
whoa.
I know.
It's fine. Austin and Ryder.
I didn't want to say it, but okay.
Two questions, although one's super quick. When's the Notes anime?
Never.
No. So I think we're gonna add that way down under like Tsukihime remake and
Girls Works. We will never forget about Girls Works.
Maho translation. It's under all of that.
Yeah, but the actual one, out of all Type Moon characters, who do you think, or who would you most want to see have a spin-off manga, anime, anything like that?
Personally, ooh, that's tough. I may have to go with. I mean, I know how Araxia is a thing, but I kind of want to lean towards Bazette.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she really needs like an entire route that's for her. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with Bazette.
All right. Any other counterpoints to that?
For what?
Who would you want to see? What character would you want to see have their own spin-off story?
Gilgamesh.
That's also a question that you shouldn't ask me.
What, Rin?
Yes.
Okay. Adult Rin. It needs to be like post-Limited Blade Works Rin.
Dude, that's not safe for work.
Okay. Lovely. All right. So we have Bazette, we have Rin, and I have Gilgamesh. All right. Acceptable. Thank you, sir.
Can I get mine?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Amanda or Tyga,
Uh-huh.
whichever you prefer. I guess if I was going to pick a class, it sort of seems like bullshit, but considering my role in survival games co-op, it would be ruler because I keep everyone alive.
Okay, very good.
Respect that.
It's
Are you sure you don't want to be resummoned as a Lancer?
Yow! Alright, I was Jaguar Man yesterday.
Right.
You were?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, it was really hot because it's a full fleece Kigu.
Alright, well, we got to
It's great. We got pictures of it.
Yeah. So I'm curious because I kind of just refuse to play the Japanese version of Grand Order because I'm still mad because they just won't put any money into anything that isn't the Fate universe because Saber is the cash cow. And I say this as Saber.
It's actually not Saber anymore, actually. Funny enough.
Well, she's still, it's still Fate though.
It's
Either way.
Yeah, where's my Tsukihime remake?
Agreed. Agreed.
So I am curious, are there any, because in Fate Extra, Arcwig makes a cameo. Are there any other cameos from any other Type Moon considering all of the bullshit characters that kind of make their way
Ryogi
into...
Shiki makes a lot of cameos in... Ryogi Shiki makes a cameo in Extra and in Grand Order.
And in
Also, Carrying Out Kyokai 5, one of the major mages that plays an antagonistic role shows up briefly in Fate Zero to burn down the village of Kiritugu. He's the blonde one with long hair that lights the place on fire. He's in Carrying Out Kyokai 5.
All right.
Is there no other parallels? It's just Ryogi Shiki?
Dead Apostles exist in between the universes, but...
I mean, there is Tono, Asako Tono.
The physics are the same.
Because she shows up in Tsukihime a lot.
Right, because she shows up in Heaven's Field and Carrying Out Kyokai. So she shows up in all three.
Oh, who's familiar, Luca will appreciate this, who's familiar with the character Zelrich?
Yeah.
So that's a character
You mean
that...
the Stan Lee of the Type Moon universe?
Right, that canonically appears in both Tsukihime and Fate. Like, that is not even like a reference or a cameo. He is flat out in both of them. That's like the one character where they crosses over the most, I feel like.
All right. Well, thank you for your question. Next.
Egan. I'm told I like knives, and so I would be an assassin by a friend of mine.
All right, very good.
Seems fair.
The only question was on the comments about Apocrypha's main issue being the artwork. I'd assume since
not art on an artistic level, execution in the animation department would be a better way to put it.
Yeah, character design too.
Are we gonna list examples? Okay.
You mean deeper than, since there is no official release necessarily yet for it, you've tried, say, different sources for video quality and whatnot off of wherever you're getting it from.
Well, on that note, this may or may not actually answer your question, but we have known in the past for the resolution and video quality of a lot of anime and even the animation itself to be enhanced post-release, like on Blu-ray and things like that. We've seen that, even among the Fate series, we've seen that. But again, my issue with the visuals in Apocrypha doesn't have to do with the resolution of the video I'm watching. It has to do with fight choreography and backgrounds, because Fate has been known since the Dean anime for having beautiful scenery.
Can I give an example?
Well, I'll let you give an example in a second, but it has beautiful scenery in every Fate adaptation. Apocrypha has a handful of scenes that use real-life imagery as references, like real-life places they took pictures of, just like they did in Fate Stay Night. But so many of the fight scenes take place in like drab, bland backgrounds. And then there is a hilarious screenshot somebody took of like one of the poor frames, like in between in a fight scene, where they were just rushing the animation. So I really can't defend the animation in Apocrypha until we get the Blu-ray release. But I do agree that could be a factor.
I mean, well, but based on that studio, they don't normally do high-action TV series, so it's kind of out of their element.
Right. This is a studio whose main gimmick and the reason they exist now is just copying off of better animators.
Yeah.
This is the same studio that did Drifters.
So a really good example of like poor animation in a scene would be during episode, I'm pretty sure it's 3, where it's the Siegfried versus Karna fight. That fight was, you know...
Siegfried did not look like Siegfried for all.
Yeah, they didn't look like any of the characters. They're literally flying across the screen. And for the fight animations, which, you know, it's like, you know, normally, like, in a sense, like, you get the idea of, like, you know... Oh, sorry. You get the idea of, like, a scale of things, but they're literally flying across of, like, landscapes and stuff like that in the scenes and stuff like that. And it returns, and they're just, like, standing in this plane, in this road. But in the fight scene, they're, like, literally flying across, like, valleys and stuff like that. If you take a look at the backgrounds where they're fighting, it looks really weird.
Yeah. Good. Thank you for your question.
Yo.
Hello, George. How are you doing?
Good.
Also, A1 made Drifters?
Yes.
I really like Drifters. That's interesting.
Drifters look pretty.
I mean, for like a studio that tried to emulate the Hellsing movies, they did.
Oh, it's the same director, isn't it?
It should be the same director, I believe.
Anyway, we can discuss this later. Class, please.
I would probably be a caster, but more of a close quarters variant.
Caster.
Yes, me too. Team died.
But you just died.
Team died.
Anyway,
as a
question,
our
please.
panel is Berserker, Caster. We are the worst team ever.
Right?
Casters
keep the Berserkers.
For you,
rulers don't fight.
What's your Yu-Gi-Oh deck consist of?
Next question.
Damn.
That's all 3. You just
Damn.
cards.
That's a call out. All right.
Thank you for your question.
No, right to these traps, guys.
All right. What's your class name? Class?
Name's Austin. If I had to pick a class, I'd probably go with Archer, I guess.
All right. All right. We still don't have a Lancer. Still no Lancer.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'll take you.
I'm sorry, I didn't get class.
Archer.
So I just recently started to get into trying to play the visual novels, and I saw an original copy of the original Stay Night game in
PS2?
vendors yesterday.
Yeah.
And I bought it for like $150.
That's good job. That's what's up.
I just want to know like what to do when I get back and try to boot it up. Like, how does
Okay, so bad news. Do you speak Japanese?
Don't.
To my knowledge, there's no port for. There's no
the
English
guy
patch
told me
for
something
the
about a
PS2.
patch for English. I don't know.
Right, that's for the computer.
For the PC. Well, it's for PC. It is for PC.
Yes. Oh, you bought it for PC?
Yeah, he bought it for PC.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
right.
right,
Okay.
yeah.
So then Google, once you have officially bought your actual copy and not torrented it online, you do then Google Mirror Moon translations, and there's a patch you can add to that. It has instructions on how to set up. It's a fairly straightforward process, and it translates all the menus, all the text, and has everything ready to go. You want to verify which version of the game you have, except they have patches for different versions. It's fairly straightforward, and that's Mirror Moon translations.
You might also be able to find the audio from the PS2 release and find a way to patch that in there. But
that's a bit more.
From what I can see, it's like the original thing.
I think anyways, you're gonna have fun. It's a good read.
It's a really good visual.
As a warning, it starts slow and they cook a lot, but it's really good.
Thank you.
Don't worry. Every single thing we have is exciting.
Little warning, we have a little less than 15 minutes, so if we can make the next few questions quickly, that way we can get all you guys into the pot.
Yeah, we want to make sure we get
so-
all the prizes.
Anyway, please.
My name is Jessica.
Jessica.
And
I think I'd like to be a caster class.
Celia?
I don't know, they're really great supports in Grand Order.
Right. Anyway, question please.
So, I was just wondering what you panelists think of the Dean's Day Night anime.
Okay, so great question, because most people tend to hate on it. They don't like it at all.
Right.
For me, it was where I started, and although I will realize that this visual novel is a better told story overall, and it's a more immersive experience. It gets you into the lore a little bit better. I will always recommend people watch the Dean anime.
Okay. I
Because
personally love the Dean anime.
I do as well, but even though it's not perfect, I can still rewatch it. But also, if I ever advocate to anybody how to get into Type Moon, I'll say watch every anime adaptation in order of release. Because Fate Zero, who thinks Fate Zero is objectively the best Type Moon work? Okay, so in order to appreciate how good Fate Zero is, you had to have seen Dean. And I still think Dean holds up on its own for the time it was made, but you have to go like in ascending order like that. So I'll always stand by it.
It's also important to know like where you came from. Without Dean, we wouldn't have any of this.
True, correct.
The Dean
It helps
adaptation,
grow the brand.
the
So
Dean
much.
adaptation also has, despite me not liking it, it has the best soundtrack of any of the works.
Catchy Quiet for the win.
The soundtrack is just great all around. It has the best rendition of Archer's theme, and it's just a great soundtrack.
Indeed. All right, thank you for your question. Next.
My name's Brian, and we've talked before about what Hephaestus would be, and since I'm also a Smith, I believe Caster would be my class.
Right.
So my question is for you. With as much as we all hate on Grand Order for just being utter nonsense and BS, how do you like Extella? Because that is also utter nonsense.
Extella?
The moon is a program!
Hell yeah. He does not like Extella.
He does not like Extella.
It's nonsense.
Thank you.
Extella has an ending.
Opinions.
Apparently not, you're getting another game.
I can hold Extella in my hand. Here it is. I own it. I don't have to keep pumping money into it to keep playing it. It's not an addiction. I can play it and finish it, and it's a real game.
You don't have to pay money for
So, game design is separate. I'm talking about game story.
Oh, yeah, no, it's very
Everyone
ridiculous.
loves the main character for no reason.
How far have you gotten in Extella?
I couldn't do it.
That's so. Extella doesn't get good until the third route, which is not a praise. That's a criticism.
Have you played Face Day Night?
Well, okay, that's a good point too. But yeah, Extella does not get really good until the third route. When you get into the third route, you really get invested in the story.
It's just I can't get past how they take the established things and just throw it onto a bonfire and like we make up whatever we want.
Right,
it's also
not a computer program.
I'll also say this: it's also written by Nasu.
Boom.
Yeah.
So,
that kind of explains itself. Right.
We needed to get that little vent of Extella out of the way.
I really
Appreciate that.
Great question, thank you.
All right.
Question.
Do you own a Switch?
Yeah.
I hope you win.
Give it to me.
How many We'll take the next three.
Okay, so we only have time for the next 3 questions.
But
and
I'm
then
gonna
we have
write
to give away
everyone
prizes.
down.
Yeah, we're gonna write everybody down. So
Who
everybody has
besides
a
the
chance
next
to,
3?
all right, Jeff, go ahead.
Okay, my name's Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
Don't you start.
Go on.
My name. I love you. Anyways, my class will probably be Caster because I like to call
All these casters.
So yeah. My question is, out of all the series we have right now and all the series we have, the ones we don't have, the historical figures we haven't seen yet, which ones do you want to would you choose to be in the series, and what class would they be?
So, me and Bonnie were actually having a conversation about OCs last night, and I feel like if I were to like sit down and write an OC servant right now, and write their stats and their abilities and their number phantasm and everything, I would probably write Ieyasu Tokugawa. That would be the servant, and he would probably be a rider or a saber. That's somebody who I would like to see. Also, Galileo. We haven't seen Galileo yet. I think that would be good. So, what do you guys think about that?
For me, I've been advocating this since the very first panel.
yes.
I want Christopher Columbus. He's a writer. And his noble phantasm will be these 3 giant ships, and all they do is bring disease and destruction to everything that crosses their path. I would love to have Christopher Columbus be an awful
Grand Order.
But he's already in Grand Order.
He's in Grand Order.
I don't play JP. Is he? Cool. Okay. Mission accomplished. High five.
But do they have the votes?
You did it.
I did it.
All right, Jeff, thank you for your question.
Hey guys.
Hello.
I'm Chelsea. I would be a berserker.
Okay.
Anyway, so my question is, and I'm going to give you 3 choices on this one.
Okay.
Who is best girl? We got Sakura, we got Saber, and Rin.
Okay.
Taiga.
One word answer.
Of the 3, who is best girl?
So luckily we have a visual novel with 3 routes for this, so I'm going to go with Rin.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I can't just help but notice that you mispronounced Ren's name twice in those options. I'm so sorry. I correct you.
Well, the problem is Sakura's the best.
Sakura is the best.
Sakura is objectively the best, but that's boring.
Joey, I hate to cut you off, except I'm sorry, Saber's the best. Saber's great. She has the best story.
She's cool, but
she has the best character arc in the entire story.
doesn't
Ren
get to stay.
goes from the start and pretty much.
But would you date that?
For the night?
Tiger for life.
Yes.
Taiga is awesome.
Tiger for life.
Taiga is awesome, but she wasn't one of the options.
Thank you for your question.
All right. So, this will go ahead and be the last question, then we're going to start drawing.
made it! How's it going, guys? I'm June. Second time at your panel. Loved it at MomoCon. Really glad to be here.
Thank you so much.
And as far as class is concerned, Assassin, I was repping Kojiro yesterday. Next year, I would love to be Li Shu-wen.
Yes.
My question for you is this. When the worlds collide and Shikitono has to fight against a servant, given that he's able to conceal his presence, would he be able to kill a servant with his mystic eyes of depth perception before his brain gets out?
So this is like the question, right? This is the question everybody wants to know. So the presence concealment thing is kind of new to me, though. What do you think about that, Trip?
Okay. It really, again, it depends on the servant. One servant I know he can beat, and it's hilarious, is he would destroy Gilgamesh. Because Gilgamesh would be all like, "You are nothing. I don't dodge. I don't have to dodge. I am better than you." And then he'd get one shot.
Right, so but then the question is, can his brain hold out while he makes the stab?
His brain has been shown to hold out for one stab. It's not for, he just can't do a long fight. And thankfully there's a ton of servants, Achilles, Siegfried, there's a massive amount of servants that don't dodge the very first shot. He can beat, ironically, all the strongest servants while failing against most of the weaker servants who dodge.
So, yeah, basically, we would love to see Totoshiki kill Gilgamesh as well. We'd love to see that. I think everybody would. But we pretty much feel like majority of the other servants, if they are inclined to dodge, would have the advantage. But yeah, there's some that, like, the Nissa guys of that will obviously override anything like Achilles' ability or Siegfried. Even like Ku's ability to like not die for a little while. He would die. So.
All right. So, thank you guys for your fantastic questions. Those of you who we were not able to get to, I apologize, but we do have a time limit and we had to stick to it. So, we are going to go ahead. No, I'm good. I'm good.
Let's do this.
We are going to go ahead and we're going to draw from the ground.
Do 4 names first for the stands. We're going to give away the stands first.
So the stands first. So, first name is that salt. I don't want that. This I want.
You get black key.
Fold this. The Berserker class, Dalton.
What?
All right. Next is we have the Lancer class.
The Lone Lancer.
The Lone Lancer. Graham?
That's me.
Yeah.
Graham! There we go.
I want to dress fire.
I scanned her wanting to play the role fantasy. I like it. All right. So, next will be Oop, other way first. The caster class, Michael. Fantastic.
You can choose any of these things.
Pick anything from the front.
Next. That's 4 packets of salt. And I'll pick those up in a second.
I got it. Salt,
Okay.
salt, black.
Next up is the caster class, George.
Any of these. Keep going, Joe.
I know.
Try not to get salt.
I know, right?
Call assuming.
Gotcha, salt is so real.
It's not actual.
Archer
Call
class,
assuming.
Angel. Angel, Archer class. There we go. Ren wanting to sport her man. I like it. Let's see. One day. One day. One day.
That's call assuming. That's the Japanese.
Next. Yep. Rider class,
I'm so sorry.
Austin.
Yeah.
Bring us your chariot.
I don't know if you can actually get up past.
Yeah, you can't get past. Tell him what there is.
Well, we have a. Yeah, we'll bring it over to you.
Yeah.
So how many more of those base prizes do we have? We still have like, I haven't touched these yet. These are a different roll.
Take any of these.
It's all random.
Yeah, this is
Because-
the points roll.
Because the
Next up is
Grail
sports
doesn't
roll.
care about you.
Next.
Next. Lancer class, Will. There he is. Fantastic. There he is. And then, oh snap, we got a ruler in here.
Try not to die.
Ruler class,
It's Shane. It's the only other.
Shane. Who would that possibly
No,
be? I don't know.
that's you. Here.
Who's that? Who's that guy? I don't know. I don't
All
know
right.
who that guy
Whatever.
is.
I'm gonna be nice to you. I'm gonna be nice to you. You help me out.
I want to recount.
You get the first pick.
All right.
You help me out.
Anything you want, man.
Okay, go ahead. The next
You want
All
any of
right,
these?
so
You
go
want
ahead and go
any?
on to the next one.
Do you want one of those? No.
You can't have guild.
We can have that, maybe.
Caster class, Jessica.
How many more names do we have, Joey? There's not a lot of
I got a lot. I got a lot in here.
All right.
All right.
On the box.
Yeah, it's cool.
You can choose any of these.
Really?
Yep.
Let's keep it moving.
All right.
Come on now.
Another caster. There's a lot of you guys here. Jeez. Jeff.
We are Legion.
Actually, you know.
And
All right.
another caster. Jesus. We all want to die. Apparently.
Jeff, you want one?
Rika?
Jeff gets one.
Oh, fantastic.
Wait, if you got one of the boxes, don't leave yet.
Jeff.
Help yourself to any of these.
Yeah, Jeff.
I think you're gonna play blind box over.
All right. Next, the assassin.
Those are the boxes. Come over this way so you're out of the way.
Yeah,
We got
bring
space.
the boxes over here. We're gonna reveal what everybody got.
Select one
So
of these
Don't open it
boxes.
yet.
Please step to this side of the room. We're gonna.
Assassin class,
Thank you.
Egan. Did I write that down rightly? Thank you. Egan. The assassin. All right. A shielder. That's something I wasn't expecting. Ian. Ian the shielder.
Fantastic. You got a box?
Pretty much useless.
Yeah.
I thought I was almost taken down by a rider.
All right.
Shirt, by the way.
You want the last box?
Yes.
Box is gone.
yay.
Gone.
You still have 4 prizes.
Still have 4 prizes, so I'll get 4 more names.
Plus
We
the grand
have
prize. Plus the grand prize.
plus your grand prize, yes.
Yep.
Plus the next.
Berserker class, Chelsea. We have Saber Class. Victor.
What am I doing?
Not to appeal like you. Not gonna happen. Just because you're correct doesn't make you right.
The Lord forgives all his subjects, but I'm just the prophet, so I don't have to. Amen.
Rider Class, Steven.
Help yourself to this or this.
And the last one who will be leaving with a
new car.
Quickly, fast. Alright, I'll go ahead and just say it. Saber Class, Jay. And you are, I will leave the last draw to you.
All right. So, with my unlimited holy properties, I will be drawing from the Grail the name that is most worthy to hold this Switch copy of Fate Extella.
If you can find a Switch.
From the soul.
Yeah, if you don't, I'll be honest, if you don't own a Switch or you don't want this, you can give it to somebody else. It won't hurt my feelings. I want this to be the best experience for someone as possible because you really gotta play this game. Okay, so.
That was ominous.
So.
Is it really?
It is.
Destiny had its way.
Alright, gonna eat it.
Give him some of the salt too. You're gonna guilt trip me on this, so I will play.
Okay.
I will play.
Hey, I was given the means to play Grand Order, and I played it. I'm giving you the means to play Extella. You should play it.
John!
Carmen, Brian.
John!
I watched her. What you get?
You got mushrooms! You got Shisho! Saber! That means Unico! What do you guys got Unico? You got Unico!
Careful.
What did you get? Is that Unico? That's good. That's Liz? Oh. That means you got Unico. Wow.
Alright. Well,
that's about it, really.
That's about it. So
I'd like to apologize for the technical difficulties. We had a lot of great jokes planned out for the PowerPoint and a really nice tribute video for you guys. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for taking the time to come to this panel. Thank you guys so much for being kind Moon fans, and thank you for keeping us able to do this for 4 years straight. If you guys want to stay in touch with the group, make sure follow the Type Moon Universe fan panel on Facebook. We also have the Type Moon cosplay group, and ask us about the Discord if you want to stay in touch as well.
That's the master.
These look cool. Also, another thing, if you're like local based, like if you live in Georgia, the Plaza is like has a really good tendency of getting like anime movies. So once they announce the dates and stuff like that, pay attention to like our Facebook page and stuff like that, because we're gonna plan like a huge get together at the Plaza for the premiere of Evansville. So just keep up with that, right? Thanks, guys.